So we just picked up the 2022 Model S long range refresh from Tesla service. Couple things upon delivery that needed to be taken care of. So let's go ahead, get it home, and go over exactly what were the issues and how Tesla dealt with that. And at what cost to me, the brand new buyer of a brand new car. Kind of want to go over what we needed fixed on this when we took delivery. There were a few things, again though, they were all really minor. I want to start off by saying that none of them were super like deal breakers for us. Now, maybe for some, they might be a little pickier, but everything was very minor. We had no paint defects. I didn't notice any big different panel gaps. That all looked great. Everything, it was very minor. And I don't want to say we were nitpicky, but it is like a $90,000 car. So you need to have some level of expectation there that you do expect it to be in really good condition. I just wanted to start off by saying that, but let's go ahead and get into exactly what was wrong with the Model S. And I'll go ahead and post the exact invoice service estimate on the screen so you guys can see exactly what Tesla had said it was. Now, the first thing is just check tire pressure. They do that on every car, so it's always number one. Number two, the concern was exterior trim. Front hood sits too high. So this is something I compared it to the other cars and I thought it sat too high. Very minor, and if you look at the video, it's not really bad, but I wanted to point it out because I thought maybe there was some quick fix. And the correction was an exterior component adjustment, and pay type was just a rectification, so it was a $0 for me. I have a feeling all they did is they took that latch and just moved it down just a tiny bit, just to pull that hood down just a little bit. Next up was the interior trim. Driver door seal has a crease. Car was delivered without trunk floor panel. So the crease was actually right up here, and I'll go ahead and kind of post a photo of what it did look like. But now it is perfectly gone. It says the correction was to remove and replace the seal, which I don't know if they needed to replace it. They might have just been able to like kind of move it down a bit, because I think where it was kind of getting creased just needed to be stretched out a bit or maybe conformed a bit. I'm honestly not sure. We've had this with a few of our cars where the seals have needed to be either shifted a little bit or replaced, but it does say remove and replace, so I guess I would assume that they just went ahead and replaced it. But again, it is a very minor thing that most people probably would never care about. But again, it's a $90,000 car. I would like it to look as good as possible. And then for the rear trunk floor panel, they went ahead and just replaced that. Now, the biggest thing that I've seen people not get at delivery is this bottom cover. So this actually is part of the floor that will cover your bottom trunk area. I just have like an air pump and stuff down there. They were including that little cover, but the big one right here was not included on quite a few people's delivery just because they didn't have stock of these yet. But anyone who didn't get this, mobile service has been coming out mainly to be able to get people that you don't need to go to service center for something like this. All you need to do is literally sit it in the car. So mobile service is just great for that. And the last issue was on the hatch glass. It almost looked like the glass might have been chipped a little bit, but they actually sent me a message through the chat on the app and said it was just a little leftover adhesive from the factory and they were able to scrape that off and it looks perfect. So that was the only kind of like big concern that I might have had, but since it was just a little extra adhesive, came right off, definitely no problem there. So really overall, the issues were very, very minor, and I really wouldn't even say most of them would probably be complained about by a lot of people, but it's just something after taking delivery of quite a few of these that I've kind of noticed might be key problems. The door seals probably being one of the biggest issues I've seen. Now, the trunk, that latch just I think needed to be pulled down a bit, so I'm not too concerned with that. Again, it was maybe sitting an eighth, maybe a quarter inch higher than it is after they fixed it. But overall, there were no paint issues. There weren't really any panel gaps with like the doors. Nothing there needed adjusting. The rear hatch looks great. Minus the whole dirty car situation. You can see all the panel gaps on the left versus the right. All of the interior looked really good. Now there might be a crease on a seat or two, but again, those are gonna happen when you have people sit in them, so I'm not too worried about that. That's nothing specific to Tesla. That's every car manufacturer. I have seen so many of my friends' cars with like leather or other pleathers out there, and any car with like a couple thousand miles plus on it, it's gonna get those creases in seats just depending on how your body sits and everything like that. So it's like stuff like that is really hard to kind of justify them fixing. Now, if you have big creases or anything like that, by all means bring it up to them. They might be able to get rid of that with just kind of like a steamer or something like that. But it is definitely worth noting. Otherwise though, I'm extremely happy with the fit and finish of the 2022 Model S. If you take a look at the 2017, or actually any of the Teslas throughout the years that we have had, I can definitely see a major improvement on quality. They have done a much better job with like paint defects. They have done a much better job with panel gaps. I know this being one of the earlier refresh Model S's, some people have expressed some other concerns with their panel gaps, but luckily mine have been okay. Now 3s and Ys, from what I have seen being delivered lately, look really, really good. Probably because they're on a much more refined line, whereas the Model S and X refresh lines have a lot of new parts going into them. The other biggest thing I've seen people having issues with on their brand new Tesla Model S's or X refresh with the yoke steering wheel is some people have noticed the vein or kind of line down the center of the airbag. And that's actually where the airbag will split to allow that airbag to come out in case of an accident or anything. But it is pretty noticeable on the yoke. Now that being said, it really doesn't bother me, but if the sunlight does hit it just right, you can see that exact kind of cutout and exactly where it would break. Now, does it really bother me? No, but I can see if you're paying a ton of money for like a Plaid or something like that, I can understand where some people might not be too happy about that. Now, I have reached out to Tesla about that, and unfortunately there is no fix for that or anything. But hopefully Tesla can kind of work on their airbags to kind of make that blend in a little bit more. I've never noticed that on any of the other S's, the 1X that we did have, or 3s or Ys. I have a feeling it is just specific to the yoke right now. So hopefully that is something they can work towards fixing in the future. But definitely let me know down below if you have taken delivery of a Tesla recently, and if you had any issues. What could they have been? And we can go ahead and talk about it down there. As always though, huge thanks to our channel sponsor, Abstract Ocean. If you're looking to accessorize your Model SX, 3, or Y, definitely check them out. All linked down below, and using code Tesla Inventory will get you 15% off of your first purchase. Our 2 must-have accessories are definitely going to be some kind of center console wrap. It really helps protect that underlying material, as well as create your car your own with any kind of cool colors or patterns that they offer, as well as a matte screen protector. Really helps cut down any glare from the sun, as well as any fingerprints, thanks to its oleophobic surface. But that's pretty much it for this one. Just wanted to do a quick update video and let you know what delivery issues we experienced and that they were rectified. That's pretty much it though. Definitely thumbs up if you enjoyed that video. Go and click here to subscribe here for some other ones, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.